Time to start running!
Hello guys, welcome to this week's episode of Island of Rob, and this week is about my system of running. Don't know, give me a chance, hear me out. Running is one of those things that so many people have so much hatred for because it's not often something that you can enjoy while you do it, and trust me, I know more about that than anyone. For most of my life, running has been the absolute bane of it when it comes to the exercise I do. But I'm actually really getting into it now. And it's been a really steady process and there's a lot of factors involved, but I'm going to go through with you this week how I've done it, what I'm doing, and I'm going to lay out my system that was developed by some very clever people that I'll explain about later. And hopefully, I'm not saying it will, but it could give you the same results that I've had. And if it does, brilliant. So my first tip when it comes to running is start really slowly. The problem a lot of people have, especially myself, I had the problem of being overweight to the point where it hindered my running. Now, the big issue is when you run, you have a lot of impact. So when your feet are hitting the floor, you're damaging potentially your knees. And if you're overweight, that's a lot more pressure you're putting on your knees because the extra weight slamming down on it every time you take a step. So you've got to take it slow so you don't injure yourself, build up to it slowly, and potentially wait until you get to a weight where you can run before you do. Now, for me, when I was 23 stone, I very rarely ran. In fairness, I very rarely walked upstairs, but even so, running is one of those things that you'll have to wait for an opportune time. I waited until I was about 18 stone before I ran, and that, when I say I ran, I mean it was 5 minutes, probably at a push. And that's all you've got to do to start off with. It's just that little bit to build you up. Now, if you want to go and look at my video about willpower, I mentioned about how my methods of building up my running are. So the mental element as well as the physical elements. But you've just got to really watch out. If your knees start to hurt, your shins start to hurt, or you start to get any kind of repetitive injury from that, you've got to ease off, you've got to take it easy, and you've got to slowly ease yourself into it. But once you're through that starting point, for me it was once I could do around about 4 kilometres, you could potentially try the system that I'm on now. And for a long while I've been able to run 4 kilometres, and I've been just kind of going, well, that's the furthest distance I can run, so I'll just run that. I'll do that 3-4 times a week. That's all I need. And in fairness, it wasn't bad for me. It wasn't a bad idea. It didn't injure me. But I wasn't getting a great deal of improvement out of it. I was doing my park runs, which are about 5 kilometres, in about 38 minutes. Now, when I had a real spout of running, I got it down to about 33, 40 something, and that was, I like pretty much had some kind of a cardiac arrest next to the finish line after that. And then as you change, I done a lot of swimming over the winter, so my running came back down again. So I got back to about 38 minutes when I started running again. And then a friend of mine invited me to do this half marathon that I'm doing in March. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to seriously put pedal to the metal and figure out how I'm actually going to get some improvement in my running. So what I did is I talked to a friend of mine who does a lot more running and triathlon based things that I do, but more importantly, he was a guy who's had a lot of the same weight issues with me, but has also done really well in terms of shedding that weight and getting himself up to the abilities where he can do these kind of things. So he would be encountering similar kind of problems, and that's always something that's good to do. If you find yourself in a position, there's always going to be, or more than likely there's going to be, someone who's gone through the same things. Look at what they've done. It's not necessarily going to be the exact same thing that you need to do, but it'll at least give you a framework of how they went about it and how you can have a go. So, my friend Ollie Adams, stellar gent, came over, sat me down and talked to me. And he talked to me about a running system that was developed by some friends of his in the Tromsø running club. Now, Tromsø's out in Norway. Now, if they're a running club in Norway, they have to be serious about running, because walking across your garden is like their system they came up with is ideal for people such as me, such as Ollie, and I think it would probably be just as good for everyone else with their own little tweaks, but for us specifically because it limits injury, and if you're a bit heavier, it limits the damage you do while you're running. Now what it does is the system, which I'll lay out the system in the comment section, but not the comment section, you know, the little info tab. I'll type that all up and I'll show you what it is, so you don't have to remember this straight off the bat. But Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, you do a 2 kilometre. So you do that in the morning or at lunchtime, and then in the evening when you get home from work or when you find time in the evening, you do another 2 kilometre run. And 2 kilometres, say relatively slowly, you could do it at 15-16 minutes. I myself at the moment, I'm now finally got it down to about 12 minutes, so it's not a great deal of time. It's not like you have to make time for an hour run in the morning and an hour run in the evening. So in total you're running for about half an hour, but the reason you split it up, so I understand, is the one in the morning you do, and by the time you come to do the second one, your body's almost pretty much repaired the damage that has been done by the 2 kilometre in the morning, and then you do the one in the evening and that damage is repaired through by the next morning. So you're limiting the amount of damage you do to your knees, to your legs, to your back or shoulders, because you'd be amazed the amount of muscles that running works. And it's another reason why you should think about it or consider it as part of your system, because it works your shoulders, your abs, your core, your glutes, your thighs, your well, obviously all your legs. So it's really good if you can tack it in there. So anyway, get a little bit off topic. 2 kilometres in the morning, 2 kilometres in the evening. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you do intervals. Now you can slot in any kind of interval training, but the interval training that they suggested to me was on a treadmill. You run at a reasonable pace for 45 seconds and then stop and rest for 15 seconds. So obviously that's a total of a minute. And then you repeat that for 15 minutes. And the aim is to get to the end of it and be out of breath and really, really warm, not to the point where you're getting ready to huck up your guts in the corner, but to the point where you know you've done some serious work. And the reason is the 2 kilometres AM and PM that you do in the week are to help build up your distance, get your body used to the fact that you're doing a large proportion of distance, so your knees and your legs and everything have time to adapt and get used to that distance. And the interval training is to widen your stride, to make your actual steps when you're running longer. Because I don't know about you, but when I started running, my shuffly, like old man run was properly on there. I was taking like tiny steps and it took forever. But when you get on the extra longer strides and it becomes natural, you're naturally going to be quicker because you're taking longer strides. And it's going to be easier on your knees because you're not taking as many steps. So intervals, really good call. And then on Saturday, you do a big run. Now, when I say big run, it could be a 5k. It's really dependent on you. Because I'm training at the moment, I started on a 5k and I added a kilometre on every 2 weeks. And it's actually going so well that I'm actually adding a kilometre on every week at the moment because it's feeling comfortable and good. I wouldn't necessarily suggest that. A lot of people are saying that's quite quick, but listen to your body, figure it out, and you can find out a comfortable pace to take yourself at. If you're finding that you're really tired after that, maybe just leave it where it is, maybe drop it a little bit, but you find that even keel and that balance. And then you just build up to the distances you want to be covering. And I've got to say that this system, as I said, I was doing 38 minutes. I've been doing it since Christmas. Bear in mind, I've only been doing it about a month. And my parkrun time's gone from 38 minutes to 33:56. And if you guys remember, that's a matter of 10 or so seconds away from the best parkrun time I've ever done, and it hasn't really felt like I've been absolutely killing myself to get there. So there's some serious improvement to be had, probably just because you're running so regularly, but you can't run so regularly unless you have a system that allows your body to. So I would really suggest this, guys. Give it a go. Have a go at it. If you want to try running, if you don't, ignore me completely. Try something else, because at the end of the day, this system may or may not work for you. Running may or may not work for you, but you've got to find something that you can do, a system that will work for you. And I wish you all the luck in the world. And if you want to see how I've been getting on doing it, why not crock over to the playlist of my triathlon training videos, because I'm talking about this system quite a lot on there, and you can see me while I'm doing my 2k runs or my 5k runs or my longer runs, and you can see how I get on. Anyway guys, if you have any more questions about running or this system of running, please feel free to give me a message in the comments below, and if you're going to give it a go yourself, why not send me a message and tell me how you're getting on. I really would like to hear from you guys to see how you're getting on, and if you actually do try running from this. Now, that's effectively my running system all cleared and away now, so I can go on to the tail end of the video where I can talk about some extra random bits and pieces. This week has been mental. I got contacted by DDP, and if you're a solid fan of this channel, you know that I absolutely love Diamond Dallas Page. He is one of my idols, and DDP Yoga can have all my love. And if you're here because you've actually come across from DDP and you're a DDP fan, hi guys, fucking love you guys, and I look forward to hearing your guys' feedback, and it's also nice to have a little bit more DDP love out on the channel. But he got in contact with me and asked me to be in his success story section of his website. That is mental. It's been a long process getting from where I started to where I am now, and to have that kind of recognition really means so much. Everyone has been so supportive and kind, and it's been a phenomenal week for me. And most importantly, I want to thank the people that have not been there just for the tail end when they see the slap story of, well done, you've lost all this weight. Those people that knew me through the myriad of weights that I've been at and have stuck by me and have helped me, thank you so much guys. I couldn't have done it without you guys. With all your love and support, it's been fantastic. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this channel and wanting to try and help other people achieve the kind of goals that I have, because I know sometimes you need a helping hand. And if I can be that helping hand to some people, fantastic. And also, if you're a DDP fan and you're here, it's not going to be all about running, and I am planning on doing a review of the DDP Yoga system later on. It's something I've been putting off because it's something that means so much to me. I didn't want to rush through it and mess it up. So I guess with all the stuff that's happened this week, my hand is going to have to be forced, and I'm going to have to do it now. So yeah, it's fantastic to have all you guys here. I look forward to hearing from all my subs. Please send me a message. Are you one of the DDP Yoga fans that's just turned up? What do you think of the channel? Is there anything you want to hear about, know about me? Pop it in a message below and I will happily reply to you. Likewise, look us up on Facebook, on the Island of Rob Facebook page, where you can see extra bits and pieces, and I'll post these videos so you don't miss one. And yeah, just thank all you guys for tuning in, watching, and I hope that if you are looking at getting a run in, this video has helped. If there's anything else you're looking to get into, please just ask. I'll happily talk about it. I might not know about it, but I'll have a go. Right, take care of yourself, guys. I wish you all the best in January and all the best in 2017. Take care of yourself and be your own island. At least I can